All right, we're live. Hey guys, welcome to 10X Church, to this training Tuesday at 10. We're going to do this every single week, and so, but listen, if you're watching this either live or on the replay, please let me know where you're tuning in from. Let me know what city and state or city and country that you might be watching this video from. I'd just like to get an idea of how far the reach is on this video, and it would greatly encourage me and excite me to see it spreading all across the country and across the world. So these 10X Church videos are going to be all about teaching you guys about the different things that we have learned this past year. My wife and I and our two youngest children have spent a year traveling around the country in our RV. Here's our RV right here. It's kind of the star of the show here. And we have visited churches all over the country. And now I've been involved in church leadership for, going on about 15 years, and have also been a small business person for 22 years, and have learned a lot, and all this kind of stuff is just coming together for me now. And so I want to be all about teaching churches about the things that we have learned on our journey. So what I'm going to try to do is keep these videos pretty short, 7 to 10 minute kind of thing. Of course, there's no timer on this screen, so I can't tell how long I've gone, so we'll see. Somebody let me know when I get to 7 minutes, okay? Anyways, what I want to tell you first is a quick story that I got from a person I had lunch with the other day about a girl who was unchurched. Now, if you don't know what that means, someone who's unchurched is someone who's never been part of a church community, never been part of God, never had a relationship with God and that kind of thing. And so we have unchurched. And those of us who are churched, people that have been part of a church community sometimes our whole lives, right? Sometimes you might have been a member of a church for 5, 10, 20 years, or like I said, your whole life. And so the point here is I've learned there's a big disparity, like a big gaping hole between what we think about our churches and what people that are outside the church, like the unchurched people, what they feel, what they think about a church. Because what they've learned about a church is all from books and TV and media and that kind of thing, and they've not experienced it for real, right? So I'll just give you a quick example. So this girl decided there was something missing in her life, right? And so she decided that she was going to go to church, that maybe that's what was missing, some sense of spirituality. And I think this is where a lot of people come into your church. But before she went to church, she made she made a decision. She got scared, and she was like, well, I'm going to read the Bible from front cover to back, so that if I go to church and they ask me some questions, if they test me, if there's a test when I walk in the door, then I'll be prepared, right? She didn't want to walk in and be like completely unprepared. Guys, if you're a church person, that's like ridiculous. Like, how many of you have actually read the Bible from cover to cover, right? I haven't. I've read a lot of the Bible, and I've been in lots of Bible studies, but I never sat down and just read it from cover to cover. So that's a huge, that's an example of how the unchurched look at us, right? And then this same girl, she found this church and she wanted to go to this church. And hey, Chris, thanks for joining. It was good to see you on our trip. That's one of our friends that we visited on our RV trip, Chris Henry. Anyways, she decided to go to this church, and 2 weeks she spent sitting in the parking lot of that church and didn't go into the church. And on the third week, she finally decided to go in. She got up, enough courage to walk into the church. Guys, it's a scary thing to walk into a church for the first time. Trust me, we have that experience every single Sunday, right? And so you have to remember, it's like that first day of school or first day of work type of scenario, and you have to be cognizant of this. But anyways, imagine if she had been in that parking lot and there had been someone out there to greet her as she was getting out of her car. That might have given her a little bit more sort of positive peer pressure to go ahead and get out of the car, meet somebody who's a friendly, welcoming, loving person, knows how to have a conversation, and they could have walked her into the church and made her feel very comfortable, introduce her to some people and all this kind of stuff, okay? And so this is a great example of what we should be doing in our churches. But sadly, what we have experienced, or what I've researched, is that I suspect there's probably somewhere between 87% and maybe even as high as 98% of churches do not understand how to do this level of welcoming. Okay, and so my mission over the next 10 years is to teach 10,000 churches about what it means to be a welcoming church, to have welcoming people, a welcoming worship service, and to be focused on making disciples. Those are my 3 big principles that I want to teach you. I'm going to teach you more about this every week through these videos. And let me tell you a story to sort of accentuate this whole idea of welcoming. One of our stories from our journey. So we were in York, Pennsylvania. We went to Calvary United Methodist Church. And as we're getting out of our vehicle, this woman is also walking into the church at the same time. And she looks over and she sees our plates. Our plates say Texas, right? And we're in Pennsylvania. She says, "Oh, are y'all from Texas?" And so a conversation ensued from that. She walked us into the church. She found out that we were on this RV journey. And she was like, this is so cool and everything else. And then she walked us into the space where we were going to be attending the worship service, but she was going to a different service, so she left us. And we also had told her that, we're only going to be in town for 2 or 3 weeks or whatever. And I think we were planning to leave the next week. So anyways, we went into the service. The kids got donuts, and they were very happy about that. You got to have donuts for the kids, guys. And then she went off to her service. And here in a few minutes, there was like 3 or 4 different people that came by from that other worship service to come and say hi to us. They came and they were like, "Hey, are y'all the family from Texas? Oh, I heard about your RV trip. This is so fantastic. Like, how are your kids doing school? And are you guys retired?" And so they had a conversation with us. They were interested in us. They showed that they cared about us. And those folks didn't brag about their church. They didn't do anything. They just wanted to meet us and wanted to say hello. It was fantastic. One of the best welcoming experiences that we have had while we've been on this journey. It's been fantastic. Hey, Mirna and Jazzy, I'll just call you Jazzy. Thank you guys for joining in. Let me know what city and state you are listening in from, okay? So that was, and then the pastor came in and he kind of did the same thing. "Hey, are y'all a family from Texas?" And, he loved on us a little bit. And then he did brag about his church. He was like, "Oh, this church is so great. They do this and this. They're doing AA and NA, and we got church plants meeting in this church." And I looked at Tyra and I was like, "I'm ready to join this church right now." You see? And the worship service hadn't even started yet. But then the worship service ended up being one of the best worship experiences that we've had while we've been on the road. And I think it's because the people were so warm and welcoming to us. It was amazing. Thank you, Mirna. It was amazing. And this is sort of my dream, that every church in America and across the world, a Christian church, that when you walk into it, you feel the love of Christ. You feel that love emanating from the people. Okay, hopefully you're still with me. It said that I got interrupted there for a second, but every church, that's out there becomes one of these churches where you just walk in and you're like, "Oh my gosh, these people were so awesome." And so I want to teach your church how to do that. So I think I've probably exhausted my 7 minutes now. And so we're going to end the training part of this video. If you guys have any questions, if anything that I have said, you want me to dive into more detail in a follow-up video next week, let me know about that. Or you just have questions about anything at all in terms of our journey or our RV trip or anything, that would be great. But please, if this has been valuable, if you think there's good content in here, please share it. Please like it, share it. Again, tell me what city and state you're listening in from. I'd like to see how far this video goes. And make sure that you like the 10X Church Facebook page. Just go to facebook.com/10xchurch if you're not already connected, if you're watching this video from somewhere else, okay? So that's it for this week. I love you guys. I love the church. I love God. And I just want to be the best vessel for this type of information that I can be for God and for our church, okay? So work with me. Help me spread the word about this. Love you guys. We'll talk to you on the next video. Thanks. Bye-bye.